All right, welcome to another video from the chart readers. We are going to look at the EV sector. We have 8 tickers, and just like always, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly. We're going to use our moving averages as well as these horizontal support and resistance lines that I draw manually, and then we'll wind it down with these lower indicators down here. So again, as we always do, I like to start with one of the bigger ones and then work my way across the rest. Hey, real quick, I actually haven't talked about it in a while, but if you haven't, check out the website, chartreaders.com. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a sign up, basically a weekly email that I'm trying to be a little more consistent with. I've been focusing on YouTube a little much. And then I do have all the videos just in a little easier format than I think YouTube has. But yeah, check it out if you haven't already. So let's take a look at Tesla, and I'll be real honest, this is a little more bullish than I was expecting. I am not in this one, I'll be real honest with you, and just with the way that the NASDAQ's been the last couple of days, I'm actually really surprised to see this many green candles here. But let's take a look at Tesla, right? So what's happened? So this 300 line actually was a pretty good line, right? It made a run from the 50 pretty much to that. It definitely failed, but then just look, the 8, right? All of this time we're still trading over the 8. I do like that this candle actually stayed over the 20 as well as the 8, obviously, but nonetheless, you see it made a nice little run back to this 300 line, kind of danced around it, and really today was a pretty big day. And if it looks, let me see, I'm almost there. Yeah, it pretty much looks like this candle right here was the natural resistance, which makes sense. So again, I'm liking this RSI. The number's not too high, right? As we get into the like mid 70s to high 70s is where I'll say it's too high. But yeah, look, green over red, green over red. We just broke a line, and all of these days have been trading over the 8. So that's a bunch of really positive stuff on, again, what seems like a really ugly NASDAQ situation, right? I don't know what the other word is, but again, I just wanted to highlight that we're literally sitting on that resistance right there, and then it does look like this will be a pretty important short resistance as well, this 317 number. But again, we're pretty much working up, sorry, I zoomed in too much. We're pretty much working within this channel right here, right? We've tried to come up, we've tried to come up, we've tried to come up, and now it actually looks like we're working our way up, right? So do I have a line over the 328? I do not. So let's make a couple lines up here real quick. I will use this guy right there. I will use this guy right there. It's a little too low. Boom, sorry. I probably could have zoomed in a little more, but whatever. Actually, I like that. I do. I'm going to put one more. It looks like there's something that I can see kind of playing out right there. Actually, it didn't really hit too many back here. I'm going to remove this one, actually. I didn't like it. So, again, I put the line. I didn't see it actually hit too much. It kind of hit there, kind of hit there, kind of hit there, but wasn't really exact. So, yeah, I'm just going to take it off. I'm okay with that. Yeah, we will just add the 2. This definitely feels like a big gap. You know, let me try this one real quick. Let's see if this is a good line. Okay, we kind of hit that right there. I think I also don't like that one. I'll be real honest with you. I'm going to delete it. I am. It happens. So yeah, we will just add the 2 lines and then yeah, see what happens. It's a little tighter between this 28 and 42 than I'd like, but nonetheless, I'm still okay with this. I think we'll hold this for now. So again, pretty bullish on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Where are we at? Look at this. This is a nice weekly, actually. It seems like this 50 moving average has definitely been a pretty important test. You can see on the weekly, it's almost lined up to the penny with my 300 line. And for now, 1, 2, and so far it's early, but this 3rd week, we are now over the 50. So weekly looks good, which generally should mean that the daily will look good, right? I think the only thing to stress is just look at the NASDAQ, make sure we're working up towards 1200, because the closer we get to 1100, the worse I imagine this will be. But yeah, short term, this actually looks really bullish, much to my surprise, in all honesty. I'm probably going to watch this tomorrow morning. MULN. So I thought most of the EV sector would really look like this, in all honesty, right? Again, the NASDAQ has not been looking good, right? We were over 1200. We were actually in the 1300s for a quick moment. And now it just seems like 1100 is more realistic than 13, right? That's kind of why I was surprised by Tesla, in all honesty. So MULN just kind of seems like what I think the rest of the tickers will look like. And look, all these days trading under the 8, right? Again, this should be no surprise. Unfortunately, we lost this 54-cent line and then just 2 big days under it. Are we at all-time lows? Yeah, we're at all-time lows, right? So there's going to be no support. Sorry to zoom out this much. I hate zooming out like that. But there's literally no history at this point. So RSI looks like it could get even worse, in all honesty. The MACD looks like it's about to get worse. So MULN, don't be surprised if it gets worse here. Don't expect a blind support when there's truly no support history, right? Again, all of these weeks are trading under the 8. Literally, until the last time we were over the 8 was the week basically ending in June. So again, if you are going to, again, because we close down here, we close here under, we close here under, and then obviously all of these are under, right? So if your weeks are going to close under the 8, you can only imagine how bad the days are going to be, right? So MULN, just, you don't want to have your money in all-time lows. It's just that's almost the worst place to have your money. LIDR, I believe LIDR, again, look at this, just kind of the same story, right? This one at least was over the 8 a little bit more recently. There was actually 2 days over the 8, and really this 151 line tried to do a lot, but again, LIDR, where are we at? Just, I think we're at all-time lows. We are, again, right? So I'll make a line right here. Just, it doesn't really mean too much, but hey, it is at least a green candle, so it gives me something. But again, a lot needs to happen here, right? You're in all-time lows. You're a number of days under the 8. Just, this should be no surprise if you've been watching these videos, right? Again, the weekly's just been ugly, so you can only imagine the days are going to be ugly, right? So LIDR, like MULN, is really what I expected. Again, Tesla looking really bullish, which is interesting. In all honesty, it is. EVGO. EVGO actually looks a little interesting here. Now, obviously, we're under the 8 for 2 days, right? It looks like the 8 is pretty much on this 937 line. We closed below the 8 here and obviously below the 8 today. That said, this is a really, really tight cluster of moving averages. Literally all 5 are right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're all right here. Definitely a line right in the middle of all of them, and pretty much a line right over the tallest candle, right? So I very much would say, look, if this breaks 1028, this bad boy can fly. If we lose 855, this bad boy will tank. And you can actually probably use this 100 line and this 200 line just to kind of tighten up the distance between those, but really something's about to happen, right? We've been in this very tight cluster of the 200 and the 100, 200 and the 100, 200 and the 100, 200 and the 100. Try to break it, but came back. Now we're at the 50 and the 100, lost the 50. So again, this 100 and this 200 have been doing a lot of work for a little more than a month and a half, right? So either this breaks up and goes, or this breaks down and drops. So set some alerts on this one, actually, because EVGO is going to do something pretty drastic one way or the other, I have to imagine. Hey, the weekly looks a little bullish, looks a little nice here as well. Both of them have green over red. Again, we've been under the 8 for 2 weeks, right? So ideally, this week is strong and we get over the 8, and hey, maybe that gives us a little hope for next week, but again, I imagine something relatively drastic should happen to EVGO in the next coming days to the coming week. So watch this one, set some good alerts, because yeah, this one should move one way or the other. Polestar, man, Polestar, I remember saying it was starting to look bullish, right? Unfortunately, what did happen was this 20. right? And I always say, look, don't just break the 20, wait for confirmation. There was no confirmation, and look, we ended up actually coming here and then a more devastating day today, right? So it's important to break the line, get confirmation, right? Because that'll give you a couple more days. You don't want to just break and then not get confirmation. So a little lesson in confirmation right there. But look, again, this is looking a little scary, right? I'm going to make a couple new lines just because we have a good amount of green candles here. I think that's going to be something. It's a little tight. I realize that, but yeah, let's use these for now. So hopefully we do not go under 683. Yeah, I don't like the RSI. Definitely red over green, right? And green kind of looks like it's gonna diverge away down, right? So it doesn't. It kind of looks like the mouth is opening, right? So be careful with Polestar. I think we're down here in these all-time low worlds. Yeah. So yeah, for sure can't lose 683 because from there it is very bad actually. So yeah, let's not lose 683. But again, not bullish. Really, only Tesla's been bullish. EVGO looks like it wants to do something. VLDR. Oh man, so look, this is roughly what I was saying about EVGO. There was a cluster here, not as big a cluster, but it was definitely a cluster just going between originally the 50 and the 20, 50 and the 20, then it became the 8 and the 20, and then it just lost the 8, and unfortunately this one went down, right? So again, as these clusters come, something should happen up or down. EVGO is in this. Unfortunately, it looks like VLDR just came out of it, but it came the wrong way, right? We're definitely down here. Really ugly RSI, not a good MACD, kind of confirming this ugly RSI, and yeah, this could be real bad. 104 is the next line, and let's just, what is this right here? Are we over that? Are we under that? Yeah, we're at least over that. So hopefully we stay over 110. Otherwise, 1.4 is going to be a knock on the door, right? So yeah, this looks a little scary. Hopefully EVGO essentially does the opposite of this one. But let me take a look at the weekly real quick here. I know I didn't. Weekly looks at least trying to be a little bullish. But again, look at how many weeks we've been under the 8, right? So can't really expect too much here. This one's a little worrisome, actually. And I don't know if that's foreshadowing of EVGO or not. But again, that same cluster break is what we're looking for, right? Hopefully EVGO, like I said, goes up and we can make some money on it. Solo is in some trouble, right? So we've pretty much been dancing with this 135 line for pretty much the month of September, actually, right? So today it kind of looks like it was a pretty bad loss of it. If I zoom in, this RSI does not look very good. Again, the green is under the red on the MACD. Yeah, this could be worrisome, right? And again, do we have another line? Yeah, we do have another line. So let's at least stay over 130. It's only a couple cents away, right? But if we lose 130 tomorrow, you can definitely assume we're going to be knocking on the door at the 120s. But yeah, this had some good momentum up here, hit that 185 line, and then just unfortunately made its way down. So I can't imagine the weekly is going to look good. Yeah, there's not too much happening here. Again, the RSI kind of looks like it's all right, but again, most of the info's up here, right? I'd say 80% is up here. These two guys down here are about 20%, right? So not a good weekly by any means. And then last on the list is ChargePoint. Hey, ChargePoint is actually still looking okay. So again, this did what we want EVGO to do, right? There's just a big cluster, moving averages, 2 horizontal lines. Even the 5th one was down here, right? Boom, we eventually break over it, right? We ride the 8 up and we break up from it. VLDR did the opposite and went down, right? So we are under the 8 today. We are literally a penny under my line too. So ideally tomorrow this gets a little positive, but honestly, ChargePoint looks a little more like Tesla while everything else looks like MULN, right? No disrespect, but ChargePoint could look interesting. Tesla looked interesting. The rest I would stay away. But one more time, make sure the NASDAQ's going closer to 1,200 than 1,100 because that's going to dictate a lot. I hope you're learning. New video coming tomorrow.